It's hard to think of an album more universally celebrated than Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. With its use of cutting-edge synthesizers, ambitious tape slicing and dense soundscapes, the record has been hugely groundbreaking in myriad sonic spectrums. And today, it sounds just as fresh and exciting as it did upon landing in 1973. So let's take a look at how Roger Waters, David Gilmour, Rick Wright and Nick Mason crafted one of the greatest records of all time. Dark Side was recorded across 2 sessions in May 1972 and January 1973 at Abbey Road in London. The band had previously found the 4 and 8-track recording setups at the studio insufficient for their needs. However, the legendary EMI TG12345 had recently been installed in Studio 2, a console that had recently been put to great use on the Beatles' Abbey Road. And with 24 inputs and 8 outputs, the revolutionary solid-state desk was more than enough for their grand vision. The band chose to work with Alan Parsons, whose discography included Abbey Road and Let It Be. His role was that of an engineer, and he later reflected that the band were the most technically minded out there. With boundless opportunity at their fingertips, Pink Floyd experimented endlessly in the studio. They delved deeper into the world of synths, notably an EMS Synthi AKS, which was one of the first synthesizers to boast a built-in sequencer. It can be heard on the dramatic opening sequence of On the Run, as well as Any Color You Like. They also messed around extensively with an EMS VCS3 to create an array of loops and sound effects. Speaking of loops, the sessions saw the band using tape slicing techniques to create intriguing soundscapes. This is most notably heard on Money, which features a collection of cash-related recordings that were captured by Rick Wright in his wife's pottery studio using a Revox A77 reel-to-reel. Loops can be heard all over Dark Side, from the clocks in time to the heartbeats that bookend the album. In terms of guitars, the album saw the band utilise new technologies and push boundaries even further. David Gilmour's guitar setup was much more elaborate than it had been on previous efforts. His pedal board comprised of his trusty Dallas Arbiter fuzz phase, Color Sound Power Boost and Binson Echo-Rec, as well as some new toys like a Univox Univibe and an EMS Synthi Hi-Fi Effects processor. Aside from his 1969 Strat, he used his custom Lewis guitar frequently during the sessions. With 24 frets, it allowed him to crawl even higher up the neck to achieve high-pitched squalls, as can be heard during the wailing double-track solo on Money. Rick Wright's keyboard arsenal also greatly expanded as the recording progressed. As well as a Fender Rhodes and Wurlitzer, he played a Mini Moog and an ARP string ensemble. Not one to let the others have all the fun, Nick Mason utilised rototoms for the first time in the band's career, which can be heard in all their glory on the chilling opening to Time. Much like Gilmour's solos, many of the vocals throughout the album were double-tracked for a richer, fuller sound. The majority of Gilmour, Wright and Waters' vocals were recorded using a Neumann U47, with Parsons lathering the takes with a healthy dose of reverb and delay. Dark Side also saw a maturing of Waters' lyrics. What started off as an introspection of the rock and roll lifestyle eventually became an examination of complex issues, everything from war, greed to mental health. Dark Side of the Moon was an album for the world and has long been loved by it. Do you have a favourite track off Dark Side of the Moon? Let us know.